Planet Nugg Podcast. I'm your host, Brett. Today we're joined with ProXtracts. We have Sean McGuire and Joe Itza. ProXtracts, Tier 1 processor distributor license holders, women-owned business with 10 plus years of experience. They're located in the East Bronx, and they're hitting the market with temple balls. Joe, Sean, could you give us a little intro to who you are, what you do for ProXtracts, and
Sure. Thanks, Brett. Appreciate it. Thanks for having us, Brett. Appreciate you guys. My name's Sean McGuire. I am the founder and owner of ProXtracts, a women-owned company. We are located in the Bronx. We were basically right now we're Tier 1 processing and distribution. We are in the early stages of our rollout here and basically partnering up with some dispensaries and growing our presence here in New York. We are granted our licensure in November from OCM. And we are excited to be here today and to growing our products, not only here at Planet Nugg, but throughout the New York community. And thanks for having us, Brett. Appreciate you.
yes, sir. Joe, what are you going to be doing for ProXtracts?
So I'm the director of operations. As of right now, I've been helping to source material, bring in talent. You know, right now we have the temple balls dropping today, which were made by Jen Doe. We're also developing different product lines, other things that are coming down the line after the temple balls, as well as just making sure all of the needs are being met on a day-to-day basis.
Got it. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot that goes into processing, distribution, and I'm sure there's a bunch of standards and procedures from the OCM you guys have to follow. So that sounds like quite a task.
Yes, a mountain of compliance to get there.
A lot of
I could
compliance.
only imagine.
Yeah. and given that it's such a new kind of business here in New York,
Right.
you know, we're learning as we go. You know, there's not really a playbook that we follow.
It seems
you
like
know.
the OCM themselves are learning as they go as well.
It seems that,
but
you know, and given we work with them, we have good relationship with compliance,
Right.
and pretty much just trying to, you know, do everything that needs to be done accordingly to them and efficiently and the right way.
Right. It's an exciting time for just living in New York, and I'm sure it's an exciting time for starting a business like that.
Yep.
So that's a little introduction on who they are, where they're from, what's going on with ProXtracts. I kind of want to get a little bit more personal into kind of how cannabis introduced itself to you guys in your life. Was it the same time? Was it the first time experiencing cannabis? Was that the same time you smoked cannabis or consumed cannabis? Or was it separate? Sean, if you want to start with your experience and how it came into your
God,
life.
we love weed, man. I mean, but like growing up for me, like I would say like 14-ish, hanging out with the boys, you know, you get that first smell of weed. You're like, what is this? You know?
Yeah.
Someone rolls up like a Philly blunt. You're like, kind of, what is this? You know?
Classic.
You hit it a couple times. You're like, sorry, I don't really feel anything, you know?
Yep.
And then like the second time it comes around, you're like, oh, this is magical. You know what I mean?
Wait a
It's the
second, what's
greatest thing ever.
What's that fuzzy feeling behind the
Yeah,
eyes?
yeah. This is like, I want this. Is great, you know. And then you destroy the food cabinet, and like you go home and Munchies, or you run
Yes,
to McDonald's,
indeed.
or whatever. You're like, this is the greatest thing ever. For me, it's been since I've been like 14, you know, and really getting into it more like later in high school when you have money and you can buy, you know, just
Sure.
spend money on stuff, you
Yeah.
know, and God, from now on, ever since, it's been a medicine, it's been a healer, it's been something that's really offered a lot to us, and something we fell in love with, and something we can see a lot of value bringing to business, you know, and growing it from there too. You
Definitely.
know? So, yeah, man, that's kind of where origins of my cannabis world.
A
you know?
classic kind of origin
Yeah,
story.
yeah.
What about you, Joe?
For me, it starts a little bit earlier. It was about 12 years old. For me, it was that I was already on like ADHD medicine, Ritalin specifically when I was younger. And the first time that I smoked, I didn't get high at all. Second time, you know, similar, like Sean, came back around. I was like, okay, why do I feel normal now? You
Right,
know, like
right,
it didn't get me high and loopy like all these other people that I've
Balance
seen.
something.
Yep.
It felt like it leveled me out.
Yeah.
And shortly thereafter, I was able to go off my ADHD medicine. I saw all of those medicinal properties and just went headfirst into getting obsessed and had to learn everything about this plant.
Yeah, that makes sense. For me, it was, I think I was around 16. Me and my buddy scored a dub from somebody of some like classic New
nice.
York haze,
Yeah.
very dark green, orange
Yeah.
hairs all over it, reeked up my backpack. And ever since then, I was like, wow, this stuff gets a bad rap for being so chill. I was like, wait, this is no big deal.
Yeah.
It's almost like when you're like, wow, they lied to us about this. what else have they lied to us about? And
exactly.
it like opens up those
Perspective change,
floodgates.
big
Secret
time.
medicine,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
They say it's a gateway drug for other things, but I think it's a gateway into perspective change.
Without a
Switch
doubt.
up.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. So into my next question here. So that was cannabis in a general sense. What or when rather did you guys find or get introduced to cannabis concentrates? Was it classic temple balls that you're bringing to the market? Was it hash, keef, pressed? Was it BHO? What were we looking like for concentrates?
For me, it was the classic hashish, or keef even,
Mhm.
Probably, within 2 years or a year and a half of smoking, a friend was like, oh, you want to, throw some keef in that joint. And, what's keef? Oh, it's the crystals off of the plant.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, let's try that. And then hashish came around shortly thereafter. And we were making our own bubble hash as far back as like 2004, 2005.
Wow.
No freeze dryer, and no sieving, none of that. It was putting it on a pizza box, getting it lined as thin as possible,
Mhm.
and letting it air dry
Good
for a
old
few
air
days.
dry. Yeah.
Exactly. In a refrigerator for a few days,
Oh,
and
nice.
praying to God that it wouldn't get moldy.
Yeah.
And then shortly thereafter, like 2008, the BHO started to really hit, and
Oh,
we
yeah.
started
Yeah.
open blasting. And after getting that pure, clean resin taste, it's kind of hard to go back from that.
It's mind blowing.
Yep.
Especially going from smoking cannabis,
Mhm.
combusting with the plant material. How about for you, Sean? When was the first time you introduced?
For
or
me,
were
it's a
introduced
little
to
later. I
concentrates?
got introduced to dabs more.
Yeah.
On the going to a cannabis cup, I think in Colorado, God, man, mid 2000s, I would say,
Mhm.
and trying dabs there for the first time. I was like, this is delicious. And it was BHO and that
Right.
cleanliness of it and the taste of it. And I was like, this is magnificent. For here on the East Coast, like there wasn't a lot of offering of it. You had to kind of know someone.
Right,
You know what
yeah,
I mean?
totally.
So it was more later in time. I got more onto more into the concentrates,
Yeah.
But for earlier was definitely, going to different, kind of different award shows, different things
Right.
like that, where you would have access to it and see it, you
Yeah.
know? But now that what we're trying to do here in New York is really inform and try and grow that market and give an offering back to that market. And especially to individuals that really they get scared when they see that, see
Yeah, yeah.
dabs or they see a
They
torch.
think it's real intense.
They're real intense, but luckily enough now there's so many products in the market that really make that ease of consuming a lot
Yeah.
easier,
Yeah. Some of the products would make it down to a click of a button.
Click of a button, just
Yeah.
you plug it into a cell phone charger and you charge it up, and as long as it says 100%, you're good. You put your dab in, 5 clicks, and it's
Good to
heats
go.
up and you're ready to go.
Yeah.
As long as you're familiar with cleaning it and the consumption and the heat and so forth like that.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a lot of good offerings behind that we want to stand behind too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I had come across one of my cousins had like a coin of hash in his wallet, and I was like, "What is this?" And he explained to me like the resin, the keef, and so I was like, "Okay, I get it." And then I didn't really dabble in hash until later on, probably around like 2011, 2012, and then someone had some BHO in a batter form in like a tinfoil ball. And I was like, "What is this?" I tried it. It finally tasted how weed smells.
Yes.
And I was like,
Yeah.
"Wow, that's amazing." And then I did more research, and I was like, "Okay, like this is it for me."
Yeah.
So that was it for me.
You see a lot of people switch now where they say, you know what, I'm just going to stick to concentrates.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to bother with the flour.
Yeah.
And it's like, for us, we like it all, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But, for some people, they find a lane and they find
Yeah.
like that's it, whether it's value on their lungs or whoever it is,
Mhm.
they find a lane, and that's fine,
Totally.
whatever it may be.
And for the most part, we're all using the plant for the resin.
Yep.
Nobody's in it for the plant material.
Yep.
That's the
Yep.
reality of the situation.
Yep.
But don't get me wrong, flour can be great.
Yep.
So, I guess this is going to be maybe more for Joe. But Sean, if you have something to say as well, for sure. How did you get into making your own concentrates, and which version of concentrates was it?
So first, I started by helping a friend that had a garden in Rochester, New York, and we would make bubble hash out of the trim, and that was like around 2004, 2005-ish. That wasn't making them for myself yet, but when BHO started to hit in like 2008, that's when we started, taking like a quarter ounce and, blasting it. And, that was the only way you could get oil.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really a lack of access that created the need to self-produce. And we didn't know the science behind the water hash on how to like properly separate the full melt and to really achieve a product that would be dabbable. So the hydrocarbon open blasting was the best and easiest way to go at first.
Yeah. More return too. Yeah. Yeah, that was the same thing for me when I had that first experience with BHO. I was like, wow, I got to get more of this. Hit up all the people I would know that could maybe have access. They're like, no. And I was like, I got to figure out how to make this. And then I would just make it for myself. Probably not the cleanest. I didn't really have a vacuum purge yet, but.
Didn't blow yourself up.
Yeah. Do it in the backyard. All right, cool. And then have you ever made concentrates yourself before this brand?
This is my first time going down the road with experienced professionals.
Yeah. The team behind your back.
100%.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
Hell yeah. All right, so that was kind of like, I just wanted to get to that personal level of where cannabis has affected you guys and how you kind of got introduced to it.
Sweet.
And now we can dive into ProXtracts and more specifics on the brand.
Sweet.
So how did ProXtracts come to be? How did you guys team up? And
let me tell you a little bit about the origins of how we came to be.
Yeah.
A little bit of my past here in Long Island. We were managing and operating all the dairy barns or drive-through convenience stores all over the island.
Love Dairy Barn.
They were great.
They're going away now.
They are.
It's a shame.
They got a lot of them got sold off after the pandemic. Put us back on the map.
Yeah.
And they kind of got sold off. So from doing that for years past, we always try to figure out how we can implement cannabis into these stores, right?
Yeah.
For drive-through, pick up, grab your coffee, grab your newspaper, get your joints for the day, and go about your business, right? It's like any other day. But over the time, the laws in New York weren't available to us. Even on the CBD side of things, just wasn't really offering like what we want to do, like what you guys have here, having a drive-through version of it.
Right.
So we love cannabis. Try to get into the game. Try to implement that over the years. Just really fell off that. We ended up getting rid of the stores, and then the opportunity came along to join the cannabis market here in New York, right? And we built a team together up of individuals that we could try and either do the delivery side of things or whatever it may be. But we really decided that processing is going to be our way to doing things, right? Because we can do a lot with this offering.
Yeah.
During my time of out and about and looking for locations, finding things, talking about the business, I linked up with Joe, and me and him developed a business relationship where we brought in ProXtracts on a further level. Luckily enough, we were able to get our license, and we got a location in the Bronx. And with our expertise and our manpower, we're like really getting up to a point now where we're like ready to hit the market. We're like, and our first item that we're really hitting the market with right now is the hash, is the Temple balls.
Right.
We have some great minds behind it that put it together, and we are looking to put our footprint here in New York with something different, a different offering, and giving back to the hash community. And it's a unique item that it's Moroccan. It has like a different vibe to it. It could be like a Mediterranean, or not say Mediterranean, more of like a what's the right word I would say, Joe? Like it's a different vibe that would be for a different type of consumer that has enjoyed hash. Maybe the European smoker that likes to put that likes to sprinkle it on their cigarette or on their tobacco.
Oh
or
yeah, I know.
Like that,
I know a lot of people that don't even smoke flower. They'll just do hash and tobacco.
Hash and tobacco.
Yeah,
you go to Europe,
or rosin and
all
tobacco.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's all it is.
Yeah.
And when we look at the market, we look at models, we look at different things, and we said, we have the minds that can do this, produce this.
Right.
Let's rock. You know what I mean? So
it's awesome to see that traditional style hash come into the market, because there's
Yeah.
definitely a gap in the market from my perspective as a bud tender here at Planet Nugg.
it's awesome, man. It's
Yeah.
great feedback. It's great to
Yeah.
hear.
Yeah, we love hearing that.
That's great to hear.
And then Joe, what kind of position were you in that led you to the moment where you met Sean and then things kind of clicked? I love to hear like where your state of mind was at, where life was at. You're just putting yourself in the right positions, obviously, because then it worked out.
So I was out in the field, half in the traditional market and half in the white market, and I was promoting different projects for different farms, different brands, and I landed on Sean's radar. And when he told me his vision for ProXtracts, I said, "Sign me up."
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Simple enough.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Just meant to be. Right time, right place.
Right time, right place,
Yeah.
right mindset, right team.
Yeah.
Right kind of just vision of what we want to do. And I appreciate this man. He's phenomenal guy. great vision, been in the market, knows this plant, knows the botany of it from top to bottom. You know, so we're lucky. We have a great kind of idea of what we want to go and where we want to go and how we want to get there.
Yeah.
And just we're kicking ass.
Yeah, from my perspective, it seems to be perfect. It seems to be going exactly how you guys are wanting it to go.
Sweet.
I'm just as grateful for Sean's experience, not just in business sense, but I come from an obsessive point of view where I've been so ingrained in the culture or community aspect, where Sean represents a very opposite side of the community, where he didn't make it his personality, he didn't make it his lifestyle in the same way that I did, whereas cannabis is just as important to him and his family.
Right.
But he's coming from the mindset of a lot of the people that we're trying to reach as consumers.
Right.
So that offers a huge amount of insight that, we call, the heady scene loses touch with.
Right.
You know,
the common,
and
the masses,
after
if you
being,
will.
on my side for 10 plus years, it's great to have someone to ground you on that side.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could get pretty deep into the heady culture and forget that people don't know the specifics. They don't even know what a micron is.
It's what brought us to Temple Balls. We said a lot of the guys were coming out with, rosin products, resin products.
Yes.
We saw some hash products in the market, but we said there's nothing that's going to cater to the Middle Eastern clientele, to the European clientele, or even the old school American clientele.
I was just going to say that.
That's used to traditional brick hash.
Yes, half the time we'll get an older crowd that comes in, and I'll just go through the lay of the land of Planet Nugg's showroom, and I'll mention briefly, and over here we have some hash, and they're like, "You have real hash?"
Yeah.
And they're like Temple Balls, like red Lebanese hash. I'm like, well, not technically. But
Yeah.
now I'm gonna be like, yeah, we got some legit Temple Balls that you
yeah.
can recall from whenever you were growing up smoking hash.
Yeah.
We're also working on getting Lebanese landrace grown out. Our friend Jendo just recently picked up Lebanese seeds that we could
Wow.
onboard somewhere.
Very cool.
This way we could make legit Lebanese Temple
That's pretty
Balls.
sick. Yeah, no, but there'll be a lot of people that recognize that.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that everyone's seen and heard in this market.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. That's really
Yeah.
cool to hear, and I'm excited for it. I can't wait to try it tonight myself.
Nice.
So that covers how you guys met, working together, the products that you're bringing to market to start with. And then I guess you did mention that there might be some other products down the line. Is
Sure.
there anything you could tell us about it? If not, no worries. But
Yeah.
what can we expect from the future besides the Temple Balls?
For sure. Well, with our licensure, it's pretty broad. We're able to extract, we're able to package and label, we're actually able to blend and infuse, and then brand, right? So, we're working with a couple companies to brand them and get them into market on the packaging labeling side.
Right.
If any tier 3s or tier 2s are interested in working with us, you can contact us for packaging and labeling or for any type of infusion or blending or even branding needs. But basically for us, we're working with a lot of locals in the Bronx area. We're about to bring to market Canna Bronx.
Okay.
Is a local collective that just got their licensure. We're getting some products in the market for them. Another brand we're bringing to market is Filtered Fashions.
Cool.
All right. And we'll hopefully have them in your guys' store pretty soon for some sampling and some testing as well too.
Awesome.
He's more of a higher end boutique brand. Everything from flour to edibles to rosin vapes. A lot of good products on that end. And we're kind of working with on the Temple Balls and the extraction side. So those are kind of we have in a pipeline right now.
Yeah. No, that's really cool. I know for a lot of like legacy people that have the process down for growing flour, resin, whatever it is, that packaging and branding is a part where maybe they're lacking on. So that could
be
fill a void for a lot of people.
Exactly.
So that's good to know.
Exactly. And with our expertise and our team, we can definitely help them bring them up to a level they can be hopefully sold in your guys' store.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sweet. Awesome. All right. I'm running down to the end of my list here. One of my last couple questions for you guys is, where do you see the market, the New York recreational market headed? What's like the average consumer looking like? Is there any difference? Is it more hash, more Temple Balls? Is it more distillate cartridges? Like, what do you guys see the future? Or what do you see reality-wise, and what would you like to see?
Okay.
So the future of the market I'm seeing is just going to continue to grow from where we're at this point.
Definitely.
So flowers are still making up a large chunk of the sales in the market. Pre-rolls are counted as part of the flowers if they're non-infused. So when you're seeing, 48% of sales are still flowers, I think that's going to continue for a while longer. But the trend is that a lot of people don't want to smell anymore, and people are becoming more health conscious. So I think the edible market and the vape market is going to continue to grow. The way that it grows, that just depends on the companies that are in the market space and the way that they're pushing their products and how the consumers react to them. So if you told me 10 years ago that Heirloom would be such a popular brand right now, I would have said drinking. That seems to be the least likely way that people are going to want to consume. And they're making a smash hit.
Yeah. No, really.
And then, one step further from that, I think that the vape market is going to, continue to grow to a certain point, and then things like the PuffGo pivot are giving people the ability to save money by not having to pay somebody to fill a cartridge for them.
Yep.
They're able to purchase a little jar that they're able to then refill, and you have great brands that are coming on the market providing budget-friendly options to fit in those pivots. So I see, the concentrate market continuing to grow, and maybe one day it'll outpace the convenient vape market.
Yeah.
But maybe there's some new ways of consuming that we haven't even seen yet.
I'm sure there will be. And I'm hopeful that that's the direction as well, the pivot more so.
Yeah.
And you're getting a better experience. You don't have to cook down your resin or rosin to get it to a less viscous, work with the cartridges type of consistency.
Yeah, you're getting a consistent result every time that you're using it, as opposed to varying results depending on hardware. Different companies, you might like Skywalker OG, so you want to try it from 3 different brands. The vape hardware might give you a completely different experience, whereas if you like Skywalker OG and you could buy a jar of it, the pivot's going to give you the same exact response every time.
Yeah. No, I totally understand that, and I'm hoping that the direction of the market goes in that kind of direction. Yeah. Awesome. Any insight from you, Sean?
I agree with Joe too. I mean, like it's traditional rolling a joint, smoking it. People don't like rolling joints as much anymore. You know what I mean?
The convenience of a pre-roll.
Exactly. They want to pop it out, pop it open, light it up, go about their day, no problem.
If the joint could light it for them, they would
exactly.
go for that
go
too.
For it exactly
You pull it out, it's already lit.
So like the art of like rolling a joint, the art of rolling a blunt, like all that stuff. It's sad to say, but it's like slowly, it's an art that's going away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like the decline is that, but like the positive side of it is like this, like the ease of just putting your concentrate in this little pen and 5 clicks and it heats it up perfectly, and it's like the right heat and the right temperature, and it's smooth, and it's like the innovation of different things like RSO and all different things coming on the market. Our hash ball, our Temple, our hash products. Those things are cool. You know what I mean? Like those things are dope. You know, so. I mean, it's all really cool the way you look at it, whether you're doing like, we have a gentleman outside that has tea bags, right? That, offers tea bags that go inside this. There's, another type of thing you could drink, and you don't have to have the rigorous of smoking involved, or the impact on your lungs or your, so whether it's that or droplets on the tongue, or it's just a lot of cool things that come out with, you know what I mean? So it's exciting.
Definitely. And I'm curious to see like you said, things that we might not even be able to conceive right now.
Maybe like a drone. You press a button, like a drone comes out of nowhere. It's like a little joint or something like that, Or, I don't know.
Mark my words, this joint that you pull out of the case and it's already lit. That might be a thing. That might be
the self-lighting paper.
Self-lighting. Like as you pull it out, it's like lights a match or something.
But just to circle back to the Temple Ball one more time, just because that's why we're here today.
Yeah.
Personally, I think that we're ahead of the curve on the Temple Ball for America. And one reason that we were launching with this at first is it's something that's going to cater to the travelers that come to New York from other places. It's going to cater to a lot of the immigrant community that might not feel represented in the New York market yet.
Sure, yeah.
As well as we're projecting towards the rest of the world. New York is legal. We still need to get that changed on a federal level. And then once on a federal level, we'll be able to export this product. The rest of the world doesn't smoke the flower.
Right.
They smoke the resin from the flower, and
Right.
specifically they smoke hashish.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, you know, it'd be great to turn the rest of the world on to dabs and to get them into dabbing culture and, you know, all of the other accoutrements that come with that. But, you know, we're trying to meet them on their level.
Yeah. And on that note, hash is known to be consumed long before we even were doing flower consumption.
Without doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Silk Road.
yeah.
Back in the day.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sweet.
Yep.
Well, this has been great. I've had a lot of fun talking to you
Sweet.
guys.
Thanks, man.
Very informative.
Yeah.
Where can they find Pro Extracts on like Instagram, Twitter? How could they keep in
You
touch?
named it, man. We're ProXtracts at Instagram, ProXtracts.com, ProXtracts. Just extracts, so drop out the E and put Pro in front of it. But you can find us there. We're on Twitter. I think we also have what's the other one we have too? Snapchat.
Snapchat. Nice.
yeah.
Gotcha. How about you, Joe? Your own
TikTok.
personal
too. Sorry.
TikTok. Oh yeah.
TikTok. Forgot
TikTok.
that. That's the one that popped in my head. Yeah.
Yep, all the socials you can
Yeah.
find us at Pro Extracts. And for myself, you can find me at Joe Itza on Instagram. And the It's a Company on Instagram.
Perfect. Sweet.
Sweet.
All right. Well, you guys know where to reach out. I've been Brett here on the Planet Nugg podcast. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.